Hi everybody, this is part 2. I just didn't want it to go over 20 minutes in the other one. So what foods did I start giving Pugsley to help him with his yeast issue and his allergy issue? Okay, so first off, I decided I was going to do the biologically accurate raw food plan. So in doing that, I did a ton of research of what food I wanted to give him, but then I came across this man's video about starving yeast in your dog. And it's all raw stuff. So I decided, since he was having major ear infections and the smell, and I was constantly bathing him, that I was going to try that first. And once I got rid of the yeast, which for many of you, I know you have dogs that have yeast problems, so this may help you. I decided, you know what, I'm going to try this first with him, see if it works. And then if it does work, then I'm going to 100% go right into feeding him raw food, and I'm going to do this for his life. And I'm going to test it and keep notes on if it works, because I was still very leery about it and what effects I started seeing changes or whatever, if I did. So this is what I did. I found this man on this YouTube channel. I'll try to look for his YouTube channel. I can't remember it off the top of my head. So basically all I fed my Pugsley was raw 80%, 20% fat, hamburger meat, and hard-boiled eggs. I'm not exaggerating. He gives you the portions, so I'll try to find the video, but you just basically want to give, you don't want to give them a ton of food, but you give that to them. I think he said 8 to 10 days. So for his meal, all he got was hard-boiled eggs and hamburger meat. I'm not even kidding you when I tell you within 6 days, his ears were 100% better. He wasn't scratching as much. He did not smell nearly as bad. And then 3 days later, it was completely gone. Now, mind you, I still clean, and if you are a pug owner, I'm going to give you some advice. I know it's a lot of work. Go buy non-allergenic baby wipes. Dog, you could buy them at the pet store. They're more expensive, or baby section. Every night, make it a ritual. I do it every night when I come home from work after I feed them, or I'll do it at lunch. You clean your puppy's ears, or your pug's ears, and you clean their wrinkles, because when they have allergies and yeast problems and they're starting to get healthier, they get dry under here, and it sometimes gets cracked, or it gets really greasy. It's uncomfortable for them. Plus they get gunk in their ear. So you want to clean their ears once a day. If it's really bad in the beginning, I was doing it twice a day. And then their wrinkles here, because they get the dry nose with allergies and then wrinkle infections. So just FYI. I always keep an extra thing of them in my pantry. Another word of advice. So if you try this, let me know how you do. I can try to find the page so I could share it so you can see the portions, but obviously you don't want to feed your dog too much, depending on the size of your dog. Another thing is, when I did that, I was so shocked by the reaction of his yeast going away that I was so excited that I was never going to go back to dry food. I could tell you that right now. I was so scared to give my dog raw meat. I mean, seriously, I was at the counter in the kitchen, and I mean, I'm not a vegan. I love animals. I don't like the fact that we kill cows and all that, but I believe in the old ways of, Native Americans and farmers. I know it's not humane, but humane way of killing an animal for food the way the farmers used to do. I mean, I don't feel that that's a huge, I have very mixed emotions. So if you're a vegan and you're offended by this video, please, no negative or derogatory comments. Just move on and go to another channel, please. I'm talking about dogs and my experience, and this is my channel. Thank you, out of respect. But I totally respect you if you are a vegan. I just don't want to hear you telling me why I need to be, because believe me, I've been through this. I have a friend who's a vegan. It's just not going to go anywhere. Okay, so I did this, and then I realized, well, I'm hooked. So now I'm okay with feeding him meat because I got used to it. So now let me do some more research. My friend Chad's YouTube video, I kept watching his videos of him feeding his dogs the fish, the raw fish, raw turkey legs, chicken wings, all that. Phallus. There's 2 things that I learned that he taught me that are huge. One is, dogs do not get that, what is it called, from raw chicken. I can't think of the name right now. Isn't that terrible? I'm getting older. I know I don't look older, but I just had a birthday and I'm just like, my brain is fried. Anyways, the chicken, when you get raw chicken, right, humans get it, but dogs don't get it. So I was very concerned about that. And yeah, no, it's been 19 months now, almost 20 months now, that I've been feeding my dogs the biologically accurate raw food plan, and neither one of them have been sick. Wednesday has teeth problems, but it's amazing the benefits. And I slowly, at first, I was just feeding them the same thing, like the hamburger and eggs and maybe some spinach. And then I had to make sure they got a probiotic, because probiotic for dogs is very important, just like people. So if you don't give them sugar-free whole yogurt, like with no sugar in it or whatever, if you put that in their food, that's huge. That's great for probiotic. If not, you can give them a probiotic like a person's probiotic, but you got to research it and make sure it's okay for a dog. On top of that, in my experience, fish is a huge, huge, huge benefit for dogs. And I'm very funny about feeding my dogs fish where I live, because there's so many chemicals, metals, and things here in Louisiana from the ocean, right, that I don't trust. And also, there's also iodine always in a lot of the fish that I buy, or I used to buy to eat for myself. So I don't feed them that anymore, because I'm afraid they're going to get sick. Because I bought shrimp one time, I bought some fish for them, and it smelled highly of chemicals. So it's really hard to find fresh, really good fish. So I started to do some research on how to get them the fish, the omegas, right? It's the fish, which is very good for you as well as a person. Believe me, it's huge. That and bone broth. Bone broth, aka collagen, is huge for humans right now, and and dogs. So just FYI. If you want more research on that, post below. Chris, I want to hear more about collagen and bone broth. I'd be happy to share my experiences with you. So I went and got them fish oil. After a year of them doing fantastic, let me tell you something. After 6 months of Pugsley on the raw food plan, I brought him to the vets because I needed to get his nails cut. Because if any of you all know, pugs cannot stand getting their nails cut. I don't know about you, but my Pugsley is such a ham. I love him to death, but he turns into the Tasmanian devil when I try to do his nails, and I just hate hearing him cry. So I bring him to the vet to get his nails done. So when I brought him, they made me weigh him again. And to my amazement, within 6 months, he lost 9 pounds, 9.5 pounds. So when I got into the room, the vet came in and said, wow, Pugsley looks amazing. His fur looks amazing. His eyes look amazing. He looks great. What are you doing differently? And I said, well, I started feeding him the biologically accurate raw food plan. And she said, that's amazing. I think you're the second person I've heard that have done that. How is it going? I said, amazing. He lost 9 pounds. He has so much energy. He's like a puppy again. He's running around playing. He's not sleeping as much, even though pugs love to sleep. He was a lot more alert. His eyes look not as cloudy. That's another thing. Pugs have eye issues. Oh, it's amazing. His eyes are so much better now. She said, wow, his ears look great. His skin looks great. His scabs had healed. I mean, she was shocked. She told me to keep up the great work, and that she was so thankful that I was such a good dog owner. And so I felt really, really good. Well, then I had to bring him back. I think it was like 6 months later for his annual exam, which I hate bringing him to. I don't like shots or any of that, and that's a long story, but you have to in Louisiana. There's 2 shots. You have to give him rabies and Bordella, I think it is. Those are the only 2, so I usually bring him to get those, even though I hate it. And when I brought him, he lost another 4 pounds, and he was doing amazing, and she told me I was doing a great job. So that is my experience with feeding him biologically raw accurate. I added fish oil, and then in his foods, what I usually do is I buy the meats that are on sale at either Sam's, or if you have Costco's where you are, or even at Walmart. But Walmart, I'm funny about the meat there. It depends on what Walmart you use, or Winn-Dixie we have here. What I'll do is I'll buy it on sale, and then I cut it up and make, like I told you, buy the dollar store containers, and I put Wednesdays or Pugsley's in there, and then I do the food, and then every day, whatever, I feed it. If you want me to do a food video for you to show you what I do on Sundays for my dogs, just let me know. I'd be happy to share what works for me for pugs. Now, this is for pugs. I'm not talking about big dogs, little dogs, whatever. This is primarily what I did for Pugsley, because pugs obviously are different when they have yeast issues. They're different than most dogs. They have different allergies than most dogs. Pugs and the short snout dogs, like bulldogs and other terrier, I can't remember the other dog's name, they usually have the same allergies and same issues. Like the soft palate where they choke, that's another thing that Pugsley was doing when he's overweight. Have you experienced this? He would be eating his food and 3 times, I'm not kidding you, 3 times he was choking. Like I had to literally, I was scared to death, had to stick my finger down his throat. It was so scary. So what did I do? I bought him this special bowl that they advertise, right? Come here, Puggy. Come on, Puggy. Come on. Come here. He just got up. He's been having a problem with his left front, no, I'm sorry, his right front leg, right at the bottom where his paw is, where that little section is. Does anybody ever have problems with their dog, with their paw, where it's sensitive to the touch? I cleaned it off a little bit. I'm wondering if he stepped on something outside or if he just jumped down off the bed and hurt himself. But if anybody knows of when their dog has issues like that, if they have any suggestions, let me know. Anyways, let me get back to Pugsley. So I gradually started adding different foods. So I would do hamburger 80-20. I would do boiled eggs, raw eggs. Eggs are very good for dogs, just like people. I buy the organic, free range, actual free range ones. What else? Spinach. Oh my God, Pugsley loves cauliflower. Wednesday, not so much. Carrots, they like carrots, but I don't feed him carrots because they have a lot of sugar in them. So I feed him usually cauliflower, spinach, very little because pugs don't eat a lot of vegetables. Short snout dogs don't. Anyways, getting back to the choking section. So I bought him that special bowl, right? So Martha Stewart used to sell this bowl that was similar to the bowl that you'll see on YouTube or Facebook where they advertise, for dogs. It's like a $50 bowl and it's got this little maze in it so that they have to take time eating their food. I know some of you probably bought it. I bought the Martha Stewart one and it was on clearance, so I bought like 4 of them. But what ended up happening was, and this was horrible for me, I didn't realize this, was it started to break down because she obviously sent it to China or somewhere to get made, right? The plastic. It started to wear down, and from him rubbing his nose while he was trying to eat his food, he got a horrible, horrible rash in his nose, wrinkles under his eyes, and his nose was dry and everything from the plastic. So I threw the bowls out. Now I only do the metal bowls. That's it, metal. And I'm trying to find not such an expensive one that has the little, little round areas where they have to do the work, because he's starting to where he devours his food again, where he eats it so fast and so it has no room. So I don't want him to start choking again. But since he lost the weight, what happens is when you gain weight, people and animals, this dangly thing in your throat gets bigger. So it blocks your air passage. So if you have a pug who has problems breathing or snoring, losing weight is huge. Feeding them biologically raw, accurate food is huge as well, because you'll start to notice not only will they lose weight, but this will start to lose weight as well, where it won't block them as much. And if you find the special bowl, that's amazing as well. I'm telling you, people who go and get the surgery, excuse me, I'm not judging you, but it is so, so dangerous to do that surgery. Just losing the weight is huge. It'll make a huge difference. It does it for people too. Sorry, when I talk a lot, my throat gets dry. So these are just some of the things that I figured out on my own. I was so sad when I realized Pugsley kept choking. So like I said, I bought those bowls and they worked for a while. But now I'm in the back in the same boat. He's not as big as he was, so he doesn't choke anymore. But I could hear him where he inhales it too fast. Because you know how dogs are. They just, my little rat terrier, she inhales it really, really fast. I have to tell her to slow down because they're like cows, right? They're just like, anyways, or horses. So those are the things that I've learned on my own. If I missed anything, I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about sharing the knowledge that I learn in my life in regards to anything, whether it's my life's purpose of my health issues and what worked for me, what I found is the truth and what isn't the truth when it comes to your health, as well as with dogs' health, because we're both very similar in our bodies. Even though they're dogs, they can break down chicken differently than us. Salmonella, that's the word. See, I knew I was going to think of it. Dogs do not get salmonella. I'm telling you right now, their stomach has a different breakdown in the wild to break down food and bones and everything, different than humans. So if you think they're going to get that, they don't. I thought the same thing when I started feeding him chicken. It was freaking me out. But every time I kept watching Chad's video and I kept saying, I could do this, I could do this, they do not choke on bones either. Now, I'm not saying feed them a chicken bone and don't pay attention to them. I'm not saying that. Whenever I feed Pugsley a wing or anything, I watch him. But chicken not cooked is the only raw that you should feed them. If you feed them, you can't feed them chicken bones that are cooked because they shard and they will kill them. They will choke on it. But when it's raw, you should see him. He just swallows it. I mean, he's just it's just amazing. He didn't choke at all. He just ate down the chicken. He loves chicken wings. I mean, he's so funny to watch. Um, anyways, I'm ranting now, but I wanted to put this video out because I see so many people having yeast issues in their pugs, having stomach issues with their pugs, allergy issues, ear issues, yeast issues, all kinds of things. Please do your research. If you want any particular question answered, comment below. I'd be happy to answer you. I would be happy to do a video of a typical day on Sunday or Saturday when I put the food together for them. Um, I did recently, like I said, added fish oil to my dog's food. I do it once a day. I usually do it their meal at night. And it's amazing how it's affected not only his hair, but it's helped him so much with his dry nose, because pugs constantly get the dry, chaffy nose. And it's even helped my rat terrier with her fur because it's so humid here in the summer. And he loves bananas. She doesn't really love bananas. There's different things that you can feed them. Some things you obviously have to keep away from them. And they're so much more active now. And it's just amazing to me. It's just amazing to me the difference. If you're interested too, there was a video that came out a few years ago that I just found out about where Pet Fooled. It's a video about the dog industry, the dog food industry. Go check it out I think it's on Netflix. It's amazing because you figured out how much stuff is in your dog's dry food, and dry kibble really isn't good for your dog. And I'm not judging anybody who gives them dry food. I'm really not. That's not the purpose of this video. I'm just trying to help those who asked for me to share my journey in learning my pug's allergies and yeast issues. So I hope I was some help. I hope I didn't ramble too much, and I hope that you'll come back to my channel. Please comment below. I'd be happy to do a more in-depth video on a typical day in the food of my dogs, Pugsley and Wednesday. Just let me know. Love everybody. Have a great night.